Excellent. Welcome back. Let's rock and roll. Someone for credits recap for me.
We started the festival.
Life Day or Force Day or whatever the fuck it's called.
Life Day.
Yeah.
So M3 and who else fought the beast?
It was Plick. M3 and Plick.
M3 and Plick. Oh yeah, because Plick rode him in the little battlefield. They fought off some beasts. In one, they fought him off in the fastest amount of time, which meant that they won their prize. Then after that, you had Plick and Nax play the hide and seek game. And Nax miraculously was able to find Plick, which allowed him to win that one. After that, it was there was the drinking as well, I think, for
yeah, that was just Tarek, if I remember correctly.
Spurgus said he missed that.
And then there was also the pod racing with Saxon and Nax, where we got in first place, but just barely, because in the very last stretch we kind of crashed, but were able to still slide through the finish line and wait for rescue.
Dale Jr. did it. We can do it too.
God. After that, we were all back in. I think we were looking for the next festival game to participate in when we saw Imperial officers take a Force-sensitive kid and shoot the parents.
They shot the father.
Or shot the father. So, and then we are right there.
That's correct. Nax, give yourself 1,500 credits for an excellent recap. I appreciate that. So, like Nax was saying, you all have successfully navigated 4 of the Life Day events. The festival was like filled with life, brimming. I mean, there's variants of cotton candy, all sorts of alcoholic beverages, tons of drugs, but we don't talk about those. Glitter stem being passed around to those with the coin to pay. As you were going through enjoying yourselves, you were gaining some really unique rewards, some very cool things. One of the things that we missed in the recap was that at the first activity you encountered the Imperial officer, and when Zawarudo spoke to him, he struck Zawarudo, thus creating some animosity. And so as you continue to navigate and enjoy the festival, participating and succeeding in all of these events, eventually, as you finish the pod race, you see an encounter between the same Imperial officer and a small Quarren family, a husband, a wife, or a father and a mother. You're unsure what the Quarren requirements for monogamous relationships are, or even if there are one. But there was a mother, a father, and a child. And after the child was scanned and discovered to be Force sensitive, they took him. And the father attempted to fight back and was shot and killed. We pick back up as the smoke from the energy, the smoke off the barrel of the blaster pistol that was used to kill the Quarren father sort of wafts up into the ceiling of the arena. In the immediate area, a hush has fallen over the crowd. As a stormtrooper drags the boy off, the Quarren mother is strewn across the body of the father, just making these terrible guttural, almost wheezing sounds. That is you can relate to a Quarren's version of crying. The officer tucks his blaster pistol into the holster at his hip, and placing his hands behind his back, turns and sort of looks at the crowd with a wicked sneer and says, "For those of you who choose to disobey and rebel against the Empire, well, you can see your fate." And that's where we'll pick up.
Hey, Za, can you try to help me not be so drunk?
Spurt can do it. Spurt can do the Lend Aid thing.
Oh yeah, if you could do that, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Za, if you were trying to talk, Za, we didn't hear you.
Hello?
There it is. Now we hear you.
Oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, I mean, I can help out. I don't know how this stuff all works, so who knows if it'll work, but I can certainly try.
That would be great.
All right. Kind of put a palm on his head and use Linde to try to.
Great. Yeah, Za, easily enough, even without formal
neutralize a
training.
poison or disease.
And alcohol counts as a poison. You're correct. So just through intuition, and trust in abilities that you know you have, without formal training, you're able to send slivers of the force racing through the vessels and the veins in Tarek. As you do so, you can weed out the ones that are not meant to be there. You find the toxins flowing very heavily through his bloodstream, and with just a little extra push, you're able to cause Tarek to sweat profusely for just a minute. And all of that sweat, for everyone within 5 feet of Tarek, for just a second, you smell alcohol. My God. Like, when the bum walks out of the bar and he walks by you and you get that face full of gross alcohol, next day alcohol smell that's seeped through his pores. Tarek, you are sober and kind of sweaty.
Thanks, lad. I appreciate it.
The Imperial officers are still there. Are they not? Or are they?
He is still there, but he has begun to walk away.
Okay. It's oh gosh. The man who was shot, Saxon will kind of like push through the crowd, because I'm assuming there's a crowd around the people. Throwing elbows into knees, like, get out of the way, let me through, get out. Going over to him, and he's gonna, I don't know, I'm assuming he's dead. If he's not, can I stabilize him in some sort of way?
You can roll a medicine check to see if he is if there's any life left in him.
Happily. Oh, that's 17. I rolled a natural 16. Whew.
He is very dead.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
He has no pulse, and his eyes are sort of glazed over. So, and with that check, you can see that lividity has begun to set in, and his blood is starting to thicken and coagulate.
We're gonna turn to the widow and go, I'm sorry. He's gone.
Her sobs increase in volume, and there's not really a crowd around her at this point. Everyone's sort of giving her a wide berth, but the festival has begun to sort of pick back up. People who they see, but they don't want their day to change, their day to be different. Saxon, will you roll a perception check for me really quickly?
That I shall. Miner's gonna float over to her as well and try and console her as best he can as a little robot. Perception, you said?
Mm-hmm.
That's a 10. A hard 10.
Nice. Yeah. As far as you can tell, Saxon, the crowd is just sort of slowly beginning to dissipate. She is as much as Miner is as excellent at consoling. She's at this point does not seem to be able to bring herself back together.
Sad whistling noises. Saxon will take a sheet, if he's got one, or a coat, put it over the top of his head, head back to the party.
Great. Saxon pulls up his hood and rejoins the group. Za?
One of two things needs to happen, buddy. Either we follow them, force our way onto the Star Destroyer and save all the children, or we leave and go through with the false imprisonment plan. Because just standing here isn't going to do much. And
I agree.
Do we follow them now or do we follow them later? We know where they're going to go.
I say later.
I think our best bet's just going to be, we're going to be on the ship one way or the other. We might as well make the money while we can.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, okay. Did we decide if we're going through an intermediary or if we're just going to have some of us turn in the rest of it?
I'll go talk to Akana.
Is that what you guys are going to go do right now?
That's what I'm gonna do for sure.
Are we gonna pass any of the festival games on the way over there, or no?
Yeah, if
It
anyone wants to
depends.
do one of the other games, I've heard.
It
mean-
depends on which way you're going to go. If you go counterclockwise, you will go back the direction you came. But if you continue around clockwise, you'll pass all 5, 6 of the games that you have not completed yet. Now, there is only an hour and a half to the rendezvous time. So it's possible you don't get to all the games, but depends on you guys.
I'm
Saxon,
just
are
going to
there?
say,
Go ahead.
I'm just going to say for myself personally, having witnessed what we just did, I'm not really in the mood.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm
Love to bake.
kind of focused on saving those children. It's kind of a big deal.
It does leave a sour taste in your mouth. Hard to enjoy it.
Well, as you all, we'll say that you all walk by all the other events in the process, solemn and somber. Should any of you wish, the remaining games that you walk by on your way to Akana are Zebulon's Sabak Tournament, Braden's Bagged Blurg, B344's Warshire Wood Chop, Ruba's Rumbling Bake Off, the Hood's Hunt, and the Quartermaster's Nerf Nick. So you will pass all of those games. If any of you is interested in one of those, just as you're walking, speak up.
What is the spectacle that is this wood chop? Because like
Sure. As you not far as you all are in hushed whispers beginning to discuss your plan and sort of the things that we talked about in the group chat on how to get on board the Star Destroyer, how to save these children. You hear a familiar robotic whine. I don't have my voice changer installed on my new computer yet, so you're gonna get
How dare you?
not that. I know, right?
Scrub.
I know. But you hear a familiar ha, 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 weak, organic. A few moments later, you hear laughter, you hear applause, and then you hear thwack, 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 the sound of axes just viciously chopping into wood. Off in the distance on the left, you see a small crowd gathered around a almost like a corral. There's not quite a wall. In the center, you see a Gamorrean man holding a massive axe. Could be a Gamorrean woman. Hard to tell the difference between the two just from sight. Holding an axe, standing near the center. Just across from him, the 4-armed droid B344, the sort of dark slate gray of his chassis and armor. In each, well, he holds 2 axes, one on each side with 2 hands each. You see the Gamorrean as hard as it can, just thwack, 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 as they chop on these wooden, essentially trunks that are placed before them. And you see as the Gamorrean chops just chunks and chunks of this wood. And right as it gets, B3 stands in front of the same thing, a totally different stump in front of him, almost like a thick trunk, about the size of, I would say about 20 inches in diameter. B344 stands, not moving, as the Gamorrean thwacks and thwacks. You see a hologrammed timer behind them counting down or counting up the seconds. When the Gamorrean appears about halfway through the trunk, B3 goes, "It is time for your annihilation." And then with just incredible speed, thwack, 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 in less than 10 seconds, B344 with 2 axes chops his way through a 20-inch diameter of faux Warshire tree. Not a moment later, you see the tree sort of replicate itself so that there's a fresh trunk in front of B3 as the timer goes beep, beep, and the Gamorrean is booed from the crowd. B3 holding up both of his axes and going, ha, 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 ha. That is the Warshire wood chop.
I don't know that Sprout can turn that down though. Like Spruik's
can
gonna
do
have
that
a new
while
shiny
we-
moment.
Well, we go talk to Akana.
As you are all walking by, B3 turns and sees you, and you hear him say, "Inferior organics, come challenge me. Know that you are weaker than B344, especially M3R, D3R. Where is he? He hides, coward."
Yes, coward. That's exactly what he is.
The small one makes the most sense.
M4,
This is
take his
illo-
place. Affirmative. Come, hairy one, let us chop wood.
Can I borrow M3's axe?
There are axes that are provided for this event.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, then we'll do that.
you are given an axe, more or less, a two-handed axe that you are allowed to wield. B344 is allowed to wield 2. You are only allowed to wield 1, as it were, for
That
the
seems like
competition.
bullshit.
Is it because they are two-handed weapons?
Yes.
Because I can wield two-handed weapons in one hand. Huh?
Well, if you have a second axe, you're welcome to wield it if you want.
Do
Once
they
the time.
give me a second axe?
Here,
only provide
take
you with one.
mine.
Does M4 have an axe?
M4 is joining this competition. Yes.
It's 1-on-1, so M4 will have to wait his turn,
Ah,
or whoever goes first. There is one axe provided.
Then can I have M3's axe real quick?
That's up to him. M3 is just kind of chilling, so you could try to take it off his back and see what happens.
I think he'd allow it.
I think so too.
as long as you kill someone with it, yes.
As long as you return it.
I mean,
think
it's going
given-
right back to him.
I also think, given the spirit of this, which is to attempt to defeat B344, M3 may allow it. Either way, M3 in sort of an upload state as he is connected to whatever HoloNet mainframe his
He's
server
watching
links
his
to.
shows.
That's right. He's just zonked out. So as you take the axe from his back, nothing, and you hear B344 go, "Interesting. Perhaps a worthy organic. I will enjoy defeating you." So, roll initiative for me, Spruik.
That's a D20 plus 6, I think, Tarek.
Yes, your initiative. D20 plus 6. I got you. Sorry, I forgot I was rolling for you.
Yep.
You rolled a 14, so a 20 total.
You've got my sheet up, right? Because you're about to need it.
Yeah, I've got it right here.
Okay, cool.
So actually, for this event, there is a field of energy that sort of falls on all of the axes. So for this event in particular, each axe will deal 1d6 damage, and it will be whoever defeats the tree trunk. They have the same amount of hit points, and will, based on initiative, go back and forth, and whoever does the most or finishes off the tree first is the winner.
God, space hippie Tektriff must hate this.
That's fair.
All right. So, based on initiative, you are going first, Spruik. So, a timer or a three dots appear in a hologram. So, the first on red, and it goes, "Bing, bing." So, Spruik, I need you to roll 2d6s as the timer has said go, and both Spruik and B344 begin to voraciously chop into their faux Worshire
Does it
trunks.
add my strength to it?
It will add your strength to it, sir.
Cool. What does he need to
Once.
roll? Sorry.
2d6s plus his strength.
Oh, 2d6s. So that's a 6 and a 4. So 10 plus 15.
15. Excellent. And let me roll B344s. Son of a bitch. Great. So in the first round, a great as Spruik just thwack, 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 and chunks of wood, like shards, begin to fly off left and right. Spruik, as you're chopping, you get into a rhythm. And in that rhythm, you look up just glancing at B3, and you see that he is in the keeping pace with you, almost neck and neck, the same size chunks, as he goes, ha, 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 ha. Spruik, it's your damage roll again. Like seriously, they were almost identical.
Okay. Oh, I keep forgetting. You keep saying Spruik, and I keep. Okay, so that's 6 and a 2, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Can he? These are attacks, right?
Yes, they are attacks. You don't
Can
roll
he-
you don't roll the break. You just roll the damage though.
Add his. You could add force points to attacks, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's no
I mean,
specific rule about it, but remember
that would work because that's not a visible thing. That just happens. I can do my force empowered strike that adds 3d8.
you can sure do that.
It'll be. I think it just says when you make when you make a melee attack, or when you hit with a melee.
Sounds about right.
Well,
So yeah, we'll just burn that the one time. But is it he adds my strength for both hits, right? Not just 2d6
strength is only added once for this.
Oh, okay.
Should
But
we add your force empowered strike then?
Yeah, just go ahead and roll 3.
A
I
D.
think it's 3d8.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it looks like.
Yeah, it's first, second level. First level is 2d8.
6, 4, and 6 again, so 12. 16 plus the 6 and the 2. So that's 16. 24. Is that right?
That's what I got.
All right, let's see if B344 can keep up. Oh man. So, over the next 20 seconds, seeing B344 keep up sends Spruik into a primal level of Wookiee rage that he hasn't experienced since his youth in the Shadowlands on Kashyyyk. And with a and just the Force users nearby, they feel it just a little. As just before B344 Spruik shears the trunk at its base, the log falls. B344 not 2 seconds later fells his. The crowd erupts in excitement. They don't get to see Wookiees very much, much less see the great feats of strength that Wookiees offer on the occasion. As the faux sawdust sort of vanishes in a holographic flicker, you hear, my programming requires that I admit defeat. I hate you, Wookiee. You are worse than M3. When we fight in the arena, I will not hold back. Take your prize. As he pulls from behind a counter behind him a large hammer, not quite two-handed. I say that. Let me actually pull up the card so I know if it's two-handed or not. I made this, but don't remember.
Thank God for that fighting mastery feat.
Seriously. All right. So he pulls out a large hammer. It's sort of made with this thick metal that if you know anything about these sort of things, you would know is dunium, a fairly common metal, very used especially in building starships. It's very strong. Inside of the two heads of this hammer sit some kind of green energy that pulses, sort of without a beat, just irregularly pulses. It's green, and the hammer hums. You hear a it's not a vibro hammer, though. This is B344's +1 sonic smacker. It is a versatile vibro hammer with sonorous 14. So it's a +1 vibro hammer. You can use it with either hand. It does 2d4. Oh, I'm sorry. It does whatever a vibro hammer does. I did not include that in here, and I will have to fix that before I send it. But it's other than the basic vibro hammer damage, it has sonorous 14. When you hit a creature with this weapon, you can force it to make a Constitution saving throw equal to the sonorous number, which is 14. On a failed save, the creature takes an additional 2d4 sonic damage and becomes deafened until the end of its next turn.
That's neat.
It may be used one or two-handed. So, and it is a +1, so it has mod slots. And I will fix the card in a little while so that it actually has the vibro hammer damage on it as well. So Spruik, that is awarded to you, as well as a small golden hatchet figurine, similar to the others. The trophy of your victory.
Yay! I did it. I feel better now.
Well done. Well done. I think that I could have beaten you if you didn't have the ability to wield two-handed weapons in one hand. Fucking Wookiees. Oh, I do have to roll something else, though.
While he was doing that, could Tarek go look for Akana?
Sure, you can be in the process. Is anyone else going with you? Or are you all going together?
I'd like to ask Saxon to help, but I know he also wanted to take part in something, so.
Oh no! Seeing that Spruik has just laid waste to B3, as well as won the challenge, M4 is just going to turn around at the head. Excuse me, turn around at the torso first, with his head facing B3, and go. He's walking away facing the B3. And he's going to go. Organic has concluded that you are insignificant, rejoining the master.
If this unit could feel hatred, it would feel it now.
M4, what are you doing? Nothing, master. Just approving of the decommission of this droid. Yes, very good, very good. Tell me, what of his four arms? Saxon's going to crawl up M4 and continue on with Tarek as they share notes of B3's forearms.
Very good. And with that, you have completed B344's Warshire Woodchop.
I need to attune to that hammer.
You do need to attune that hammer.
Take like the next 30 minutes of walking around to attune to that hammer.
Takes an hour to attune, I believe.
Okay, well, however long
We've got
it
an
takes.
hour.
Yeah, you do have the time if you want to.
I'll wander around with whoever I need to wander around with, but I'm going to work on that.
All right, so its regular damage is a D10. Okay, you can wield it one or two-handed, so it is a versatile weapon. So a D10, and I'll send you the card.
Send it to Dylan, please. Thanks.
Yes.
I'm just going to send it to the group.
Yeah,
That's
just
a
send it
good
to the
idea.
group. I want to look at this cool thing.
All right. So as you continue walking around, the other events on your way back to Wakana, the other events are prominent, are there. So if anyone is interested in those as you walk by, the remainder are the Sabek tournament, Braden's Bag the Blurg, Ruba's Rumbling Bake Off, the Hood's Hunt, or the Quartermaster's Nerf Nick.
So I want to do the Sabak tournament, but I'm still not home.
Okay. Well, it just involves some dice rolling. So if you want someone to proxy that, you can, or we can circle
I'll do
back
it for
to
you.
But that's,
if you want me
up to Tech Triff.
Nah, just skip me for now, and I'll do
Great.
it later.
We will come back to the Sabak tournament. That'll be the last stop on the way. As you are working around the circle, suddenly this incredible smell hits your nose, and it's like fresh blackberry pie. That as you're walking through a small neighborhood with children playing and windows open, it just tickles the edge of your nostrils. Nax, your nose is more sensitive than everyone else's, given its length and the amount of receptors that you have. And oh my goodness, it is fresh. It is juicy. You smell some kind of baked good, so delicious that it reminds you of when your grandma used to bake, Grandma Nax, and her incredible crumble. Your mouth waters as you get closer and closer to the smell. I need I can't right now. Zawarudo, I need you to roll a perception check for me, please.
Can I assist him?
Sure. Roll with advantage.
Okay. Give me just a second. Oh, hold
Did we lose everybody?
No,
Oh,
we're
I'm
waiting
here.
on Za for Za's perception.
So it took it a second.
You're fine. My haircut is terrible. It's like, hello,
That's never happened to you, Josh.
hey.
Please don't kill me.
I take it back. You need backups, Brooke.
Okay, well, I got a 20 natural and a 17 plus 7. So I guess it's a 27.
Great. You said a 20
Because it's a natural
natural? Yeah,
Yeah, I got
absolutely.
it. Well, because I rolled with advantage, right?
Yeah. Because
Well, I got
Sax
a,
and M3.
well, I rolled a 17 and a natural 20 plus 7, so I have a 27.
Very good. Thank you, Jeffrey. I will not forget that M3 has dibs on hands and fingers.
Oh,
So with the natural 20, Za, for just a minute, out of the corner of your eye, you swear that you catch a glimpse of the Quarren woman whose family was just destroyed in front of you a minute ago. As you turn to look, you don't see her, but you thought for a minute you might have glimpsed her. As you come around sort of the bend just after that, Nax being led almost by his nose at this point, you hear a familiar sound. And that is the way you bake the pie. If those of you cannot bake the delicious crisp munchies, get out of Ruba's tent. As you see this incredible tent, essentially it looks like a canvas that Ruba picked up off the floor and threw. Sort of old crotchety human who ran a pet store or a pet kiosk inside of the noble derelict. She is the running the bake-off contest. Her tent looks musty, kind of patched and dirty. It would at one point have been a vibrant red, but after years of being trampled on and honestly had animal droppings left on it, it is stained and patched. Inside, you smell such deliciousness, though. As you all pass by Ruba's Rumbling Bake Off, should anyone wish to participate in that event, now is the time.
Max.
Great.
Dark
As
following his nose.
So as you all come around, some of you with a mind on your mission, Nax's trunk just angles to the side and begins to, almost like those movie or those cartoons where you see the scent lift them up by the nostril and float them away. You see Nax's nose point and then just sort of pull his body as he turns and walks towards the tent. Inside, you find Ruba's Rumbling Bake Off, a line of people, a line of people of all sorts of a variety of species, all wearing aprons, vigorously mixing ingredients and trying, and Ruba carrying what appears to be some version of a cat of nine tails. She has a bandana tied around her head, wisps of frazzled white hair, and her own apron, and she goes, "No!" Smack! And hits someone's bowl with this whip, and the bowl flips, spilling ingredients all over them. That is not the way you bake Ruba's crisp munchies. Leave out, flee the tent before I whip you. As that particular contestant leaves, she turns and says, you are the ones who would not buy one of Ruba's pets, yes? Or were you the ones I would not sell to? Ruba does not remember. Have you come to bake?
Nax will pull out his chef's kit, slam it down on the table, and say, "Let's do this."
A worthy challenger for Ruba's recipe. Very good. This is an open event. Ruba will accept any and all who wish to participate. There is no limit. Whoever bakes the most delicious of Ruba's golden crisp munchies infused with Melurin shall win Ruba's armband.
Ooh. May I see the recipe for this?
Yes. As she slides a hollow film. And you see, it's a fairly simple recipe, but it is to create Meiloorun infused Quavu crisp munchies, which, given Nax's acumen for cooking, you would know is a very common dessert. If baked at just the right temperature for just the right amount of time, creates a small star-shaped pastry. crispy on the outside, gooey and warm on the inside. The perfect combination of crunch and chew. Something Nax has made before, but to make it with a Melurun fruit, one of the juiciest of all fruits, is very, very difficult. It's easy to be over or underbaked, and for the juices of the fruit inside to seep out and ruin the crispy exterior. Next, you are provided with the Melurun fruit. You are provided with a bowl, should you need one. And Ruba, if anyone else would like to take part and attempt to bake some Quavu crisp munchies, now is the time to step forward. If not, then with your chef's kit, Nax, please roll an attempt to start your bake.
Yeah, M4 is not Bender, so he's not a cook, and Saxon is no. Saxon
Josh,
makes
is there a Maloran fruit just sitting somewhere like on somebody's table that had to leave?
There is a large bowl of them behind Ruba. She is very sparing. You get one Melurun each. Not each of you, but if you're in the contest, and you get no more. If you mess up, you don't get another. So she
Fruit just try to pick one up to eat it.
Sure. Spruik, roll a dexterity save for me.
While he's figuring that out, how do I roll with the chef's kit? Because I'm looking at the item and it doesn't give any description for it.
So are you proficient or are you expertised with the chef's kit?
I guess just proficient.
Okay, so you're going to use your proficiency modifier, and I will let you pick between dexterity or intelligence. Because you can either measure the ingredients well, or your level of intelligence helps you adjust to the specifics of the recipe.
All right. Keen hearing smell gives me advantage on perception checks. All right, cool. Foragers. All right, so then you said roll d20, add intelligence, and then proficiency.
Proficiency, yes.
20. Sorry, I've been also loading into the new sheet, so.
You're good.
4 plus proficiency is 3, so 7.
Once you get it up and running, it's very, very smooth.
20 total.
Hey, very good. So with relative ease, hold on just a second. Sorry, I got a text Heather.
All good.
All right, so with relative ease, you manage to take a small paring knife and you peel the Melurun easily, almost expertly. You see Ruba's eyes like, oh, this one knows what he does. As you throw the inside, the juice of the fruit, careful to pluck the seeds on the inner exterior, sort of just inside, because you know that the seeds, if consumed, can cause a almost sour smell or a sour taste to be infused into the fruit, into the pastry, which is not what makes for a good Quavu crisp munchie. With that in, you begin to throw in flour. You begin to throw in this universe's version of baking soda. It can be baking soda. Fuck it, it's baking soda. As you begin to sort of mix the ingredients together and whipping and whipping. What was Spruik's dexterity save?
Hey Dylan, what was my dexterity save?
Oh, sorry. I rolled a 6 and it's +1, so a 7.
A 7. Great.
It feels like it's on you, Spruik.
Spruik, your stomach growls just a little bit. You hear the as you smell all of these delicious, delicious things. And anyone that knows Wookiees know that their appetite is as big as their temper at times. Seeing the bowl of Melurun and knowing that is one damn delicious fruit, you sidle sideways a little bit while Nax is whipping up this delicacy. You sidle sideways a little bit more, and you reach. And just as your hand is about to grab the bowl of fruit, it moves. And you see Ruba holding the fruit bowl up with one hand, her eyes like little slits as she goes, no, Wookie. If you want fruit, you bake. If you don't bake, no fruit. And she pulls her cat of nine tails out. I'm old and frail. I'm half your size, but I'll kick your ass.
Sprue just hungrily growls and then goes back and stands with the rest of everybody.
Wookiees have no manners. You heard it here from Ruba. You'll hear it here again. All right, Nax, I need another chef kit roll, please.
All right. 17 this time.
17, very good. Easily enough as you continue to whip eventually, instead of, like many of the other contestants, using these small star-shaped scoopers to try to create the right shape, you, knowing that a good Quavu crisp munchie is made with love and care, you scoop a small handful of the Mailaroon infused batter and you begin to shape and to mold. And in just a few minutes, you've created 6 perfectly even star-shaped pastries ready to be baked. As you lay them out on your baking dish, Ruba goes, "Oh, Ruba is excited for this one. She has not eaten since before the Wookiee." One more roll for me, please, Nax.
All right. Ha, natural 20.
Oh, beautiful.
There you go, buddy.
As you are ready to bake, you don't see an oven. Instead, Ruba pulls out a small lizard. She goes, "Squeeze the belly, it breathes fire. Good luck." So she hands it to you, Nax. It's nearly as big as you are. It's sort of like he's holding some kind of strange lizarded bagpipe. With the belly of the lizard tucked under his arm, he aims the head, holding the neck. He squeezes with his arm, and it goes as fire is breathed over his Quavu crisp munchies. Watching with a keen eye, Nax, you see just as the edges begin to brown and bubble, and you cut off the fire as steam rises. Not a single crisp munchie is burnt. They are perfectly baked. You hand the lizard back. Ruba, holding a piece of hollow film, begins to fan them off, letting them cool before she picks up a piece and goes, hmm. As she takes a bite, you hear the telltale crunch of a beautifully baked outer shell. You see just a little bit of Mailaroon pastry dribble down her chin, and you hear, oh, my goodness, I have not tasted such good Quavo crisp munchies in... Well, Ruba does not know. Losers, leave the tent. We have a winner. She passes out the other 5 crisp munchies, Quavu crisp munchies, to whoever would like one that's in the party.
Nax is going to grab all of them and eat them himself.
Fantastic.
Well, he did the work, so.
As poor Spruik reaches for a crisp munchie, you just hear...
Are there any more fruits on any of the tables where everybody left?
Mysteriously, there is nothing. And you see Ruba scampering away quickly, holding a bowl of half-used fruit. Sorry, Spruik. There's some batter. There's some bread. Sorry, Za?
Can I give you 50 credits for one of those fruit?
When you say this, she freezes. For credits, Ruba would sell her mother. So she tosses you a Mailaroon fruit for 50 credits.
I'll put 50 credits on the counter and I'll give fruit. Eat up, buddy. You're gonna need your strength.
Oh, that's sweet.
For as much as a Wookiee can smile, he smiles.
Wookiees can smile. All right, so Nax, she also awards you with a small golden Quavu crisp munchie. It is a 5-starred or a 5-pointed star-shaped pastry. It's a little golden ornament as a trophy, a few inches in diameter, sitting on a little pedestal. And as well, she hands you Ruba's ravishing +1 armband. It is not as beautiful as you would think it is. It is a large metal device that would take up an entire forearm. It has 4 fans, vent fans on it, and a small activation button. This is this takes the place of a gauntlet or an armband. So it's a hand, you equip it to your hand. It gives you a +1 to your armor count as long as it's being worn. It is a wondrous item and it does require attunement. This item contains a number of charges equal to the wearer's proficiency bonus. They may use a bonus action to activate one of the charges, which creates a shield that remains active for up to 1 minute. While active, the wearer is shielded by a luminous blue energy field. They may add +3 to their armor count instead of +1 while the shield is active, and it absorbs 5 points of energy or kinetic damage. It also sheds a dim light in a 30-foot radius from the wearer. While wearing, you have disadvantage on stealth rolls. It regains 1 charge per long rest.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does.
Who are our frontline people? Would that work with like M3? Can M3 use it?
It just says you have to be a sentient entity.
So Spruik or M3, one of the two.
Yeah.
So not M3. Got you.
Yes.
And
I'll hand that to you because that'd be great for a frontliner.
Who's you?
Hmm?
Which you? You said you. Who's
Oh,
you?
I said Spruik.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
hand that to you.
Yay! Something else to sit there and mess with for another hour.
That's
how
awesome.
many?
Wait,
Yeah, how many?
actually, yeah.
I can
only
check his
have-
attunement slots.
Let's say you only have
I
3 attunement
should.
slots.
Yeah, I should have 3, but I haven't attuned any.
Well, you'll have that
Thing.
hammer.
Yeah.
I'm looking at mine right now. Oh no, we have the same background. Where's it?
Because neither of my sabers right now are attunement items.
Yeah, I don't see where you have anything attuned. I know I have a couple
Here's
things,
an-
so I'm gonna. Yeah, he
here's an
doesn't have
idea.
anything attuned.
Why don't we give it to Plick so he has disadvantage on all of his stealth checks so we can find him and he can't disappear from us?
Not a terrible idea, actually.
That's funny.
We just need
I mean,
what's the leashes for children? We just need to get that for Plick. That's what we need.
You guys have a leash? The silence is terrifying. You have a leash?
No. Instead of giving Plick the armband, we just we get the leash for children that people use these days. And every time he goes,
These days.
every time Plick does Plick things, we just give it 2 tugs, and no, he's on his back like a turtle.
Hey, listen, if you want leashes, Beck has leashes for kids. He sells them on the regular.
What? No, those are slave collars, not leashes. Get it
Horrific.
right.
He would say tomato, tomato. So,
And he would say it in that voice.
yes, he would. All right. So as you all continue around, there are a few events left. If anyone wishes to participate, there's Javidami Braden's Bag the Blurg. There is the Hood's Hunt and the Quartermaster's Nerf Nick. There is the Sabak tournament, but we're holding that until Tech Triff is ready to play some cards.
So we're looking for Akana, right?
Yes, if you wish to pass up the other events, we can go straight to Akana, and we'll just circle back when Brentley or Tech Triff is ready.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. I'm here.
Oh, fantastic. So, excellent. As you continue, sorry, I almost fell off my yoga ball.
Oh, please do. Oh, please do.
Seriously, I should have
Real life dexterity save.
I just barely passed that one. So, as you leave the bake off, Nax, your cheeks are stained yellow and orange with Mailaroon pastry juice, and you're still kind of full on chewing. And just absolutely, you're holding your little trophy, and every now and then a little toot of joy comes out, like a little triumph. As you're feeling it right now, you are feeling yourself. As you come around, you see another small tent, black and dark. Inside, smoke flits out, a sort of haze in the room, like when you walk into a very prominent gambling room. There's one table surrounded by people in a variety of outfits, some fancy and adorned, others sort of dirty and disheveled, all of them holding several cards. A field hovers in front of them, and you see each player has, most of them have cards locked in. Standing or sitting at the back of the table in the dealer's position is a man that you recognize from holograms and holofilm that you've seen. Slicked back black hair, black armor, very familiar black armor. You recognize the face of Lord Zebulon Dak, second in command of one of the factions that I can't remember off the top of my head, and I have notes, and I'm gonna vamp until
Black Sun?
it might be the Black
sure.
Sun. I want to
It's
say it's
something Sun. I was thinking second, but I don't think that's right.
I'm just gonna let you guys vamp until I pull up this particular note.
Boy, do I sure love vamping. Zabba-da-boop-bop-bop-bop. I
The
am also
Black Sun. You notice that he is, you remember that he is the second in command. Thank you for the vamp. Second in command of the Black Sun. His boss, Javidami Braden, it's well known, is a very kind, simple man. Zebulon Dak is the one who supposedly really runs the show, and they do it under Javidami's nose. You also would remember that there was a bounty posted by Zebulon Dak to investigate false accusations of his parenthood, his paternity, lest it bring shame to his good name. He is the dealer. After a few minutes of watching, you see cards passed back and forth. Numbers are changing. You see negatives and positives. Every now and then, a player, after exceeding or falling below a certain amount, throws his cards on the table in frustration. This is Sabak. As the table clears, they prepare for another game. You notice that Zebulon, Lord Zebulon, is smirking. And Tektrif, he looks directly at you and he says, I've never seen a man without a face before. Are you here to play cards, or just are you lost?
Tektrif will just silently join the table. If I could ask a quick DM question, where is the frozen kid? Do we still have it?
We do somewhere.
I believe that he's still in your room, along with like 100 kilotons of spice.
Okay,
We got drugs.
Yeah, y'all got drugs and a frozen kid, but I'm pretty sure that they are still in your, as far as you all know, they are still in the room inside of the Oasis Cantina, your Oasis, your little abode.
Awesome.
All right. As you sit down, if anyone else would like to join, this is an open table. As many of you can play as you would like.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna go look for Arcana.
Okay. Very good.
I'll have been doing that separately while everybody's doing their own thing.
I'll go with Derek. That way he doesn't get into trouble.
Okay. Great. Fantastic. So this is as you sit down, Dak looks at you. Something about him is just slimy, and he goes, would you like me to read the cards out loud to you? Or can you see under that thing?
Actually, as we walk past, I'm gonna put a hand on Texture's shoulder, and he doesn't see me because I haven't given the amulet away yet. And I'm gonna say, kick this cunt's ass. And I'm gonna pat him, and I'm gonna walk away.
I appreciate your hospitality, friend, but I do have sight beyond regular sight. I will see the cards just fine.
Yes, I'm aware of what you are. Most of us saw your little speech not long ago. Lucky for you, we were all ordered by Mr. Goodso not to speak of it to the Imperials, lest we face retribution. Slimy little Twi'lek. Nonetheless, here are the rules. This is Sabak. You are playing against each other in the house. I am the house. So I'm going to roll into just sort of the explanation. In Sabak, the objective is to
blackjack.
reach. It is similar, but there are some interesting rules so that we can play them with dice. And I looked a long time for some good house rules, and so I just made these up when I couldn't find things. So the objective is to reach 23 or negative 23. Each round, you are allowed up to 5 total dice. You don't choose them all immediately. You choose them once per round. Each round, you may choose to add in a dice, lock in a dice, or re-roll one of the dice that you have. All right, so at the beginning of the first round, you may pick any individual dice you want: D6, D4, D20, anything from a D20 down. Please don't pick a D100. All right. So you may, and then you'll roll that dice. Once you roll the dice, you have that number for the round. At the beginning of your next round, you can choose to roll the dice again, to re-roll the dice. You may choose to add another dice, or you may choose to lock that dice in. A dice that is locked in cannot be changed. Okay. After you've rolled the dice, you'll flip a coin, or I'll flip a coin. If it's heads, the number is a positive number. If it's tails, the number is negative. All right. Every round, there is an active special card. So every time it gets back to Zebulon on his turn, there will be a special card. The DM or the GM will roll a D10 to see if the card in the field remains the same or if the card in the field changes. All right. If the number is a 1 or a 10, the card remains the same. If the number is 2, the active card becomes balance, which adds a -11 to everyone's board. If the number is 3, the card is endurance, which adds a -8. If the number is 4, it's moderation, which adds a -14. If the number is 5, it is the idiot, which is a 0. If it is 6, it is the evil one, which is also -14. 7 is Queen of Air and Darkness, which is a -2. 8 is Demise, which is a -13. The star, 9 is the star, which is a -10. All right. When a player achieves -23 or 23 at the end of their round or the end of their turn, they may yell sabak to win the game. If no player has achieved sabak after 5 rounds, the winner is calculated by whoever is closest without exceeding. If you have exceeded 23, you are bust. Each round you may bet on your turn. You may add credits, although you may not exceed the number of credits you actually possess. Those rules make sense?
First of all, fucking inspiration for figuring out a gambling game that could totally be real.
It's based off the actual game of Sabak. Quick history, quick lore tidbit. The cards, balance, endurance, moderation, idiot, evil one, Queen of Air and Darkness, demise, and the star are all based off of a species called the Rin, who are very similar to space gypsies, and they do their version of tarot cards.
Do they love 80s music?
No, because the 80s aren't a thing.
Do they love Daniel's character? Sorry, I can't help myself.
But the names of these cards in Sabak, the names of Sabak are based off of the Rin's tarot cards. So they're foretelling, they're future telling using tarot cards. So technically the Rin invented this game, although they don't get credit for it because they're relatively unknown. That's your lore tidbit for the day. They're bird-like. They look kind of like birds, bipedal, humanoid-sized birds.
So I didn't charge my computer. I'll be using real dice, but I am super looking forward to this.
Fantastic. So there are a grand total of 5 players, including yourself, Tech Triff. Is anyone else going to join, or are the rest of you just hanging out?
No.
Great.
I'm with Tarek.
My game theory is very intrigued by this game, but
You're welcome to join. So if anyone wants to jump in, jump in. That just no issue. But once the game has started, you can't jump in the middle. Great. Here we go, Tech Drift. The base pot is 10,000 credits. Credits will be added to it as players bet. The first player is gonna the first player to your left, a human. He's missing an eye. He has a patch. There's no cybernetics. He seems not terribly wealthy. He pulls out a card and he flips it up, and he rolls as the card, and this is actually in the game, the card, random numbers appear, and then some number appears in front of him. You're not able to tell what it is. You can see your numbers. He looks at the number and he bets 2,000. So the bet is 2,000 credits.
Oh shoot, I should have left you some money.
I'll be okay.
All right, Tech Triff, you are second at the table. It is your card and your bet.
I'll bet 1,000.
Okay. 1,000 is added to the pot.
And by these rules, I choose a die and roll it.
Yes, you can choose any dice that you would like. You may have up to a total of 5 dice. So
Okay.
roll your dice. I flipped a tails, which means that this number will be negative.
Okay. I'm going to roll a d20.
Go ahead.
It's a 15, so that will be negative 15.
Great. So you have negative 15 in your pile. The next player goes, and you see him draw his card, and with a grimace, he passes on betting this round. The fourth player, a Mon Calamari, the big fish eyes flipping left and right as if they're searching for an angle to see everyone else's cards, bets a cool 6,000.
They're searching for Spruik.
The Mon Cala don't care about Spruik. The fifth player is Zebulon Dak himself. As he draws his card, a smile lights in his face as he, with a grin, taps, showing that he, like a check, that he will not bet, but will meet the bets made this round. So Dak himself will be adding 8,000 to the pot. Now we get the fun one. At the end of Dak's betting, he rolls. Or he flips a number. Several cards flash in front of you, flipping back and forth before it settles on the idiot. 0 is added. The card state gives a 0. There is no minus or positive added to your board state. All your numbers currently stay the same. So we start at the top of the round. The human with the single eye, looking at his card, decides that he will roll a little. He'll gamble a little. He flips a switch, a button on the top of the card, and the number changes randomly before he passes, deciding not to bet this round. Tech Triff, it is now your turn.
Okay, so just so I understand, during this turn, I can either lock my number or
Yes.
roll again.
Numbers that are locked cannot be affected by the board state. So I didn't clarify that. The idiot card, the card that affects everyone, it only affects cards not locked in. If you lock them in, it means that it's stuck. One of your dice is permanently that number.
Okay, and if I lock, I won't be able to add or subtract this turn, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so I will lock my negative 15 in.
Very good.
And I will not bet.
Very good. To lock the card in, you throw it into this sort of hollow tractor field right in front of you. The card hovers. A locked card is revealed to all players. They get to see those locked numbers. So as negative 15 appears and is locked into play, Dak smiles and goes, "Interesting. Blind but not stupid." The player next to you, Tech Triff, the Mon Cala, looks, selecting another card from the pile. And okay, all right, he is doing great. He chooses to bet 500 credits, but he doesn't lock in a card. The next player over, the fourth player in between the Mon Cala and Dak, a Bothan. Their cat-like features and pointy ears. Bothans are known for being incredibly intelligent and very sly. He locks in a card as well. And he locks in a positive 17. Before it circles back to Zebulon Dak. Looking at his card, he draws another. Tech Triff, you swear you see a grimace, a small one, before his sneer returns. And he presses the button for the board state field. A number of cards flash once again, randomly, before it settles on the Queen of Air and Darkness. And a -2 will be added to the cards in your hand. So I guess a -2 will be added. 2 will be taken away. -2. You can add a negative, right? Right? Math man?
Yeah, you certainly can. I don't know. Ask Aaron.
Dr. Rapp, you can add a negative?
Yes, called subtraction.
Okay. Let's see. Great.
This guy.
fucking doctorate degree.
It's the truth.
But don't you? If you
No,
add
I
a
know.
negative, if you add a negative to a negative, it just increases the negative number, right?
Yeah, because you're subtracting from a negative number.
All right. I hate math. So -2, the first player.
Tax season's just around the corner, kids.
Oh God.
First player selects a third card. Visible sweat is appearing on his brow at the moment. Tech Triff, he also chooses not to bet. Tech Triff, it's your play.
Does his sweat smell worse or better than Tarek's sweat from about 30 minutes ago?
It's a different smell. It's not alcoholic, but it smells really BO heavy.
All of you need a bath.
Kind of like a rotten meatloaf.
So I know that I'm actually tied with the Bothan right now.
No, the Bothan is technically closer because he locked in his 17. So
he locked it in. Okay.
yes, if you know their numbers, it's locked in.
Now at this stage, I can add to my number using one of the die, correct?
So yes, at this stage you can select another die, and then roll it. Whatever that number is, a -2 will be added to, or will be a -2 will affect it. And then depending on the number, you can decide to hold it and see what happens, or you can decide to lock it in.
Okay.
Well, next turn. You do need to select another die and roll it, though, or you're just going
Okay.
to sit at -15.
So I'm going to choose a D8.
Go ahead and roll it. Son of a bitch.
Okay, so that was actually a 1.
Cool. I flipped a tail, so it will be a -1. And with the current state of the board, it is at the moment in value to a -3.
Okay, so that will improve me to a -18.
Yes, assuming that nothing changes by your next turn.
Sure.
Great. So currently it's at a -3. The next player, the Mon Cala, folds. You just hear, God, I hate cards. And he flops his hand down and shoves away from the table and leaves. The Bothan selects another card. I need to roll that. After that, the Bothan places a cool 1,000 credits down with a swipe of his chip. You see no expression on this Bothan's face, no smile or grimace or fear. Then it becomes Zebulon Dak's turn. He tosses with a smile one of his 2 cards, like a casual flick. And as it sits into the field, you see a -19 locked in for Zebulon Dak. I'd wink at you, blind man, but I'm not sure you could see it. At the end of his turn, the random button rolls again, flipping through cards and eventually settling on the idiot, which creates a board state of 0. So the -2 goes away. Everyone's cards are now at their actual value, which means Tech Triff, yours would be at -1. So we move into the next round. The human visibly sweating, but with his one eye just charged with pure rage. Just there's a determination there. He draws a third card, and visibly you see him go, fuck! As he chooses not to bet, he beats on the table twice, showing for check. Tech Triff, it's your turn.
Okay, so if I re-roll the D8, it would still be a negative value, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I will choose to re-roll the D8. That is a 5, so that is a -20.
Ooh. At the moment, it is indeed a -20. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Ooh.
The Mon Cala has folded. The
Shit, I'm sorry. If it's not too late, I'll go ahead and bet.
Sure.
Okay, I'll go ahead and add 500 to the pot.
500. This is a hefty pot. The Mon Cala, with a smile, and says, Sabak, and throws. Oh, no, he doesn't say Sabak. Fuck, I'm bad at math. Either way, he smiles and throws a card into the locked in field. It's a +4. Sorry, it's 23, not 21. Fuck, I thought I just won.
Wait, do you mean the Bothan or the Moncala?
The Moncala folded. The
Okay,
Moncala
yeah.
folded and left. The Bothan throws a 4 to add to his 17 locked in. His 2 cards now equal a value of 21. My bad. I was like 21 wins, blackjack. No, this is Sabak, Josh Sabak. With a smile, for the first time, you see some of his fang-like teeth. He bets 1,500 credits in addition to the pot already.
Audible
And
gasps.
Lord Dax smiles with his -19 and draws a card. And then the random button rolls again. A sneer like you have never seen on Dak's face right now. As the random cards generate and generate and generate, they eventually settle on 2 or balance, which brings everyone's cards to an additional -11. At this point, the human that is the first up on the draw is just profusely sweating. The smell of old meatloaf is just permeating the haze of the tent. People stare, a variety of species, in anticipation, unsure of what to make. The human finally just rocking back and forth says, "Oh, damn it. Damn it." And he folds his cards and leaves the table. He was at like -23. Or not, that would win. He was at negative like 33. He was bad. He had badness. Tech Triff, it's your turn.
Okay, so the previous board state subtracted 11 from everyone.
Current board state subtracts 11 from the card in your hand. So what did you roll? A -5? You had a -5, right?
I had a -5, so that's
So,
-16.
16.
Okay, 16.
31.
Yeah, -16.
Yeah, so
So
I'm currently at -31.
Yes, you're currently at a bust. So you can
Okay.
either re-roll or do nothing, or you can pick another dice. Up to you.
Okay, let me think for a second.
This is round 4, by the way, so there'll be one more round after this one.
So there's
I can re-roll either die that I have.
If it's locked in, you cannot re-roll it.
Okay.
So the -15 is -15. You can't change
Right.
it. If you were to lock this card in right now, this dice, it would be equal to -16 because of the board state it was locked in at.
Gotcha. Damn, this is actually
I
like
have
super.
math if you're
Yes, Dan.
if you're interested.
Yes.
So with the -15 lock currently and the -11 on the board, you could change your die and have a -26, trying to shoot for a -3 specifically. If you rolled a D4, you've got a 25% chance to get it, and then there's the 50% chance on positive or negative. So that's like pretty slim odds. But there's
Am I allowed to flip and lock a die on the same turn?
No, you can choose to add a dice, lock a dice, or re-roll one. You can't do 2 in a turn. So one of those things, or you can do nothing. You can choose to just exist.
Okay, but I could add a positive value to this, correct? With a new die roll?
You could essentially draw a card or roll a new die, and then it's a flip of a coin. If it's heads, it's positive. If it's tails, it's negative. So yeah, you'd be taking a 50% chance on getting a positive number.
Okay.
It's gambling, man.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, right now that puts me at -31. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna roll a D8 and hope for a positive value and see
Go
what
ahead.
I can subtract off. Oh, excuse me, a D12 and see what I can subtract off of this. Okay. Let's see what happens. So that is an 11.
An 11, and I did flip a head, so it's a positive 11, which, because the value is not applied to each card individually, it's applied to your total board state outside of locked cards. So you have
I have a 20,
5.
or excuse me, a -20.
Yes. So the 11s will cancel each other out. You'd have a -5. It's pretty
Okay.
much how that would work. So if it stays the same, that's what it is. We'll see are you going to bet this turn?
No, I have no more money to bet.
Fantastic. It moves over to the Bothan. He selects a third card. He makes no bet. He says nothing. It passes to Dak. He says, "You seem pleased with yourself, blind man. How do you feel about how it's going? You think your chances are good? We'll see." As he winks at you, he throws a card into the locked field. The card has a total value of -14, adding a -3 total to his board state. His total is now -21. That's what he's locked. The random generator rolls once more. Motherfucker. I rolled a 1, which means nothing changes. It flips right back to the same card. What were we on? It was -11. Balance. Balance reappears. Tech Triff, you are the first one up now that others have folded.
Okay.
Given balance, you have -5.
Meaning my value right now is still -20.
If you lock them in. So you're gambling at this point.
Yeah.
You're hoping that the other's cards either, because they're going to add up all the cards in your hand and in your locked field. So you're hoping that they're locked or they're unlocked value. Each other player has one card in their hand, Dak and the Bothan. So you're hoping by the end of this round to be closer than them based on the cards in their hand.
Right. So as it stands, I'm the middleman at -20. Dak is at -21, and the Bothan is at 21.
Yes.
So I could, if I understand the game correctly, I think I could also choose to roll a d4, hope for a 3, and yell sit back. Would that be correct?
That is correct.
Well, that was not my roll. But it is gambling, so I think that's going to be the play.
Let's do it. So you're drawing another card for the d4.
Yeah, so I have a 25% chance of busting, a 50% chance of losing, and a 25% chance of hitting the number right on the head.
All right. Roll your d4.
Okay.
It's not good odds, but it's
better than real gambling.
So that actually was a 3, and that's not bullshit. Which puts me at 23. I'm going to scream.
Does it matter if it's positive or negative? Because I flipped ahead, so the number is positive.
Oh yeah. So if you're positive, that'll subtract 3, which puts me at -17, which is bad.
It is a positive number.
Gotcha. So yeah. But right. I'll continue to play. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, at this point, sorry, you have no more money to bet. It flips over to the Bothan. He looks a little sweaty at this point. Something's not right. He rolls, or he redoes a card. And you see a grimace on his face as he throws down the last of his cards. His final card reads -8, which brings his total for the end of the game to 13. Math. To +13. Zebulon Dak smiles, but he too presses the random roll button on the top of his card. Oh, fuck. He flops down on his final card a -5. A total value, including the board state of -5, which brings his total to -26.
Whew.
He busted. With a sneer, he says, "God, shit. I don't know how you cheated, but it's not over. You cheated, you blind fuck."
It's
He
racist.
throws a credit card at you. A credit card. He throws a credit shit at you, as well as a small golden sabak trophy. Tech Triff, you are getting a chunk of cash here. And I really did roll a -5 for that. Like I was genuinely playing a few hands at once. I had them fold because I could not keep up with 4 hands at the same time.
That was super awesome. That was really fun.
I hope that we do that with all of you sometime because I feel like it actually worked better than anticipated at first.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's pretty
16.
cool. I think it would be easier if everyone was keeping their numbers instead of you trying to play 4 hands.
Yeah, I agree. Tektrif, you're getting 21,000 credits.
Cool.
Holy
So-
shit.
Jesus.
Now, to be fair, in 5e terms, it's only 2,100 gold. So 10 to 1 ratio, but still.
It
currently
sounds
have-
like bullshit to me.
I currently have 2,100 credits, and that's after getting 1,500 from recapping. Jesus fucking Christ, that's a lot for me.
Well, I have also been leeching money from you guys this whole game unintentionally, so welcome.
Well,
to
and Tektrif is a space hippie, so there's a pretty good chance he's not going to use this for anything.
Tektrif,
You're not gonna use it. You want to like share the
Yeah,
love.
share the wealth.
Mhm.
So, as you officially have won the game, Tektrif, there is a polite applause from everyone in the room. Not too loud, not too soft. A few people try to shake your hand on their way out.
Yay.
Well done, well
Yay.
done. You hear a Gamorrean snort out, "No one's ever beaten Zebulon before," as he walks by you.
I would like to put a hand out to the Gamoran and just make him stop for a second and say,
Wait, which hand?
"Oh yeah, I only have one." I would just like to tell the Gamoran, if you try hard enough, anything is possible. And I'm just going to continue walking.
All right, Kevin Garnett.
Always the weird ones. You can trust me with it. You can trust me with those credits. I'll make sure they get used for a good proper thing.
Everyone's after the credits. Great. So that completes
They'll have a treasure.
That completes Zebulon Dax Sabic tournament. Do you guys want to do any of the other activities, or I know that Saxon and Tarek are pretty, and Spruk are pretty mission oriented at this point.
I'm interested in the Hood's hunt, but also, like saving kids kind of takes priority over getting bad stacks.
I will say that there's roughly 30 minutes of time before you guys have to meet them at this point. You've spent some time sort of hunting around and playing some games, slowly making your way. So you do have time for another game or two if you'd like one, but that's up to the group. There's still Bag the Blurg, the Hood's Hunt, and the Quartermaster's Nerf Nick.
Whatever anyone needs to do.
It's not necessary. It's 100% up to you guys. If you all just want to go straight to Akana and open up the main mission marker, then by all means.
Tektrif is still super upset about what happened, but he also just needed to play Sabak real quick. So
I'm really glad you did. I actually spent a long time on those rules, and I was like, man, if they skip Sabak, I'm going to have to circle that back in somehow.
That's really in depth.
Thank you. I wasted an entire afternoon of planning instead of doing an actual job.
Not wasted at all.
Yeah, you got paid for it. It's not wasted.
True, I did get paid for it technically. Great. Well, if you guys are, it's up to you guys. If you're ready to push into the main mission, you can find Akana right now, and that's totally up to you.
I'm ready to find Akana, but if anyone wants to do any of them, I'm cool to wait and support that.
Just riddle me this real quick, Stein. What is the Hood's hunt? Is it just like hunt a whatever, or
so
or what?
you see the Hood leaning outside of a small hologrammed forest. He doesn't talk. The Hood only talks when he absolutely has to. There's a small list of instructions: pick up a rifle, hunt the Womp Rat, get the Womp Rat before the others, get the prize. Very simple instructions. It looks like he typed them up in a second and is just leaning there because he's required to.
Is he smoking a cigarette on the outside or the inside of his helmet?
His Mandalorian helmet sits neatly. He looks almost like a statue.
Damn.
However, when a small child runs up and sort of tugs on his finger, he leans down, and you don't hear what he says, but he gives them a little pat and hands them some kind of treat before the kid runs off giggling. then back to his normal leaned pose.
Okay, so it's just a hunt the thing. Okay. Shit. I was just curious as to what it might be. I didn't know if
Yeah.
it was like hunt for humans or hunt for whatever.
No,
I wonder if he'd
Empire.
be better off to like ask for help instead of Akana.
That's
Had thought about it, but Akana knows us, and we kind of owe her.
But the Hood's already
Well-
talked to us once, hasn't he?
He did extend an invitation to challenge him in the league sort of the Champions League in the champion bracket. So he saw you guys fight and said that he'd fight you if you challenged him. But that's the only conversation. It was just a little tidbit. He was like, "Yeah, I'd fight you." Throw it out there.
I mean, I feel like that's a respect thing. Like, and if he's all for the kids, then like maybe.
Just, I know, I like that idea because we see that, like kids, if we tell him what's happened, maybe he doesn't have to really respond. He can just listen. Why don't we tell him what happened?
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe he can help us out. Also, quick aside, we should set up a Royal Rumble style fight in the arena of the robot that we have to fight and the Hood versus, and then maybe like a couple of their allies, just to give numbers balance versus us as a group. Two
Like,
birds, one stone.
Like a Royal Rumble situation.
That's what I said.
Hell yes. That sounds awesome.
Okay, back to the game.
So, Tarek, would you like to describe what has happened, or Za?
Oh, with finding Akana?
Talking to the Hood and explaining our situation to him.
Are we doing the Hood?
I mean, he leaned down and gave a child a treat, and we're gonna go save children. So he could be an ally in this.
My vote is for Akana, personally, but I just think that'll work better.
Right. All right, so the options are the Hood or Akana. Those in favor of Akana say aye.
Aye, because I won her over when I got drunk.
I just said aye. I don't want an
know.
explanation. All right, I heard 2 ayes. All right,
Aye.
those in
Thank you.
3 ayes. Those in favor of the Hood.
Aye.
Za, I for Hood or I for Akana?
Yeah. I mean, why not? Okay, no, los dos.
We
Both?
should not. We shouldn't disseminate our plan because that makes it less likely we'll get the reward.
But my thing is like, if the Hood says no, we still go to Akana.
Yeah, but then the Hood goes and tells the Empire, and then Akana gets fucked up.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
After we tell
You
the
don't
Hood that
know.
the Empire's been stealing children, I'm pretty sure he's not going to go to the Empire. Well,
If Boulder were here, he would make a gut check on whether or not the Hood can be trusted with the vital information.
I know what I
What
could
is
do.
that?
I could cast. Hold on. Let me look at my spell list. Sorry, Josh.
Your powers, their powers.
You know what? You're right, and I'm wrong.
Okay, let's make a quick compromise. How about that? That's the key. We'll go talk to Akana, but we should leave a quick note with the Hood that just says, "Hey, kids are being kidnapped. We might need some backup."
Oh,
Hey,
okay,
thanks, bye.
that's fair.
You know, just something like that.
I was gonna say I can use Force Vision and see if Akana is a good choice to help be our co-saboteur in this.
okay.
I receive vision.
Explain to me, is Force Vision like augury, where if you ask the Force in the next 30 minutes, it'll tell you?
It's how I see all the time. So essentially, you just kind of get a fuzzy vision of people's aura.
Sorry, I wasn't thinking of Force Vision. I was thinking of Danger Sense, which essentially the DM lets us know if it's peace for results which are not dangerous, danger for results which are dangerous but perhaps worth the danger, or ruin for results which are certain to end in
always
death or
going
tragedy.
to be ruin.
All right, so that's basically augury then. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Here's the
I mean,
thing.
if you'd like to do that,
I can tell you exactly what your vision is going to be. Danger. We're about to put ourselves in a lot of danger.
Yeah.
But I'm not against Akana because I agree that we kind of owe her a debt with the ship, and I think this could help towards patching that over. I just think that we should let the Hood know that the Empire is taking.
Agreed. We can do both.
Por qué no los dos?
Por qué no los dos, indeed.
well, fortunately for you guys, Akana's drinking contest and the Hood's hunt are conveniently right next to each other.
So convenient.
Well, what an accommodating universe.
It just works out that way sometimes.
It
I guess
just
ask the party.
works.
I'll scribble in a quick note to leave him, I guess, wherever. There's a
Great.
counter maybe that he's standing at.
Great. Za, as you are going, as you're leaving the note near the Hood, he sees you drop it. He doesn't say anything. But as you turn to walk away, you feel a hand grab your wrist. And when you turn, you see the Quarren woman, the mother whose husband was killed and son was taken. You recognize her not because Quarrens are easy to recognize, but the red rim in her eyes, the grief that when she touches you overwhelms you through the Force. And she leans towards you and she says, "You're one of them, aren't you? One of the Jedi who fought in the arena. The Force is with you, isn't it? Please."
I was going to kind of
She, in the process of this,
I'll put a hand on her shoulder.
she pulls out a small disc. You recognize it to be a very cheap a hologram, holo projector. She presses it, and you see an image of the boy, the young Quarren who was taken. And she goes, "My name is Upik Nusk. This is my son, Puis Nusk. Please. We all saw your speech. We all know. They've taken children from us. They've taken our families. Please. You are Jedi. Help us." And she hands this little hologram projector to you and says, Puis Nusk, please.
Spruik thinks that they need to stay away from S's when they talk.
Okay, yeah.
Spruik is a bad person.
They're fish people.
What's his name? What's this gal's name? What?
Upik Nusk is how you of the common would say it. Her son is Puis Nusk.
Pawish.
Oh,
Gotcha.
fantastic.
Pwysh.
Yeah, I got it almost. Whatever.
I feel like you didn't. Nonetheless, as Za, as you're, before you even can say anything, another person walks up. This one human, and they also have something similar, a hollow film that has a picture of a young girl on it. And she hands it to you, and she says, "Sasha, they took her 2 days ago." And not long before, a Bothan comes forward, and he says, "This is my son, Kricha. He was taken." And in mere minutes,
Does
dozens.
Spruik see this happening?
All of you see it.
Does Spruik know what's going on? Can he hear any of that?
Yeah, they're like, at this point, they're not just walking up to Za, they're walking up to all of you because they recognize the group, and they're handing you hollow images of these children, and they're giving you names, dozens and dozens of people, and they're just begging you, knowing from Tech Triff's speech, thinking that you're all Jedi, and knowing that at one point Jedi were saviors. They all dozens of them come, showing you their children, leaving you small hollow recordings and hollow films with their pictures and their names. Za, in just a few seconds, you have maybe 24, 25 of these small silver hollow discs showing images of children piled around your feet.
Fuck you, Josh.
I'm gonna back away slowly because I'm overwhelmed by the number of people. Kind of We're going to do our best. Time to go.
None of them say anything. They all just, you see hope in their faces when you say that you'll do your best. A glimmer, but hope. Not too long after, Akana, who is nearby, approaches you, and you hear her say, quite a ruckus you've stirred up for people who aren't supposed to be recognized.
Aye.
Yeah. Tech.
Yeah.
That is entirely his fault. We've all agreed.
It seems to happen when a droid carries a belt of hands near you, but who am I to judge?
Doesn't seem like it has anything to do with the hands.
Somehow M3's belt has a Quarren hand on it that wasn't there before.
See? What did I say?
Damn it,
Well.
M3.
Well, goddamn. Akana, I know that we've had some problems in the past. We want to try to make it up to you. But we need your help for a small, we'll call it a mission. We'd like you to turn us into the Empire, collect the bounty on all of us. It should be about 500,000 credits, and then split it with us. We're going to go. Go ahead.
You want me to turn you into the Empire?
It sounds mad, I know.
Sounds
But-
foolish. Mad is a nice way of putting it.
I agree.
Fair.
I'm-
One of our wee ones is going to be invisible. Going to follow us. That way, he can break us out, hand us our weapons, and then we'll carve through the ship, save the children, and then we'll come back and we'll all share the enormous bounty that's on our heads.
Well, it sounds like you've really thought it out. No room
I've
for
spent
error
weeks,
there.
weeks thinking about it.
Weeks. They've only been here for one.
I know.
Cryo
Well,
sleep.
I certainly think that you're perhaps as thick as I thought the first time I met you. I had my doubts for a minute, but either you die and I inherit 500,000, or you live and I earn 25%.
25% is more than fair. I'm going to put my hand out for a handshake.
No. Saxon's gonna try and jump up, grab his hand, and pull it down. 20.
23.
Why not 50% and we keep the ship?
What?
I'll accept that deal.
No.
We're gonna
you
need-
need that.
No, that's
We're gonna-
definitely the deal.
We're gonna
That's
We're
the
gonna need-
deal. That sounds like the deal.
30 in the ship.
right?
Absolutely.
I heard 50 in the ship, and I'll shake on that one.
I heard
Oh.
10 and a shoe.
You don't count. You're too short to be part of this conversation.
I am an integral part of this plan. Do not doubt me.
He's right about being an integral part, and I'm going to pick him up and face him the other
No.
direction.
Do not pick him up. What are you
I'm going
doing?
to say 30%. We keep the ship, and we're even.
The ship is worth 30% on its own, 40%. And you
What do you
keep the
think?
ship.
Shake the woman's hand.
All right, I'll shake with her.
Very good. I don't even have to lie for this. Fantastic. You're all dead, you know that.
Oh, aye, we know.
Very well.
Look
When
forward
would
to
you
seeing
like
you when
me
we get back.
to turn you in?
20
Could you
minutes from
promise-
now?
Yeah, just a little bit of time. I would like to make a quick phone call to PAX at some point before we actually get turned in.
Huh, that's actually interesting. I have a note about PAX. As you all finish this conversation, you hear PAX behind you say, well. You know, I always did like Jedi, whether they thought they were Jedi or not. Something about them always seemed right. As you see that he has taken all of these, while you've been talking to Akana, taken all of these holo recorders and has been slowly, with the help of some droids, compiling a master list. that he now that he's finished, he hands to you, Zon. He says, "I believe that this was meant for you, young'un."
I'll take it. What is it?
It's not all of them. It's just the ones that were nearby when you were near. Some of the names of kids that were taken should be on that Star Destroyer.
All right. Well, we're gonna try to find him.
Well, that's all we ask.
Hopefully help.
Mr. Pax, if you have just a moment, I have a couple questions for you.
Right ahead.
You have secured our escape from the cruiser, correct?
Should y'all manage to disable the cruiser or escape it in any fashion, we will have someone there to pick you up and provide cover and fire. We're not going to leave you stranded facing a Star Destroyer, not with all our kids.
And and this is a big hypothetical, but let's say if the Star Destroyer were destroyed, being the closest planetary entity, I assume that you would get salvage rights, but you would have not been the one to cause that. Maybe we split any salvage rights on the leftover material from the ship.
I believe for this particular mission, salvage rights are going to be first come, first serve. I'm not sure how the Emperor and his new galactic empire reflect on people scalping.
So you're telling me that if a Star Destroyer were destroyed directly within reach of your station, that you would just leave it there?
I ain't telling you I wouldn't. I ain't telling you I would.
Because that's an awful lot of raw material.
I'm just saying, what disappears, disappears.
Sure, and if half of the value were to go to the party that made it disappear.
Let's see if y'all survive first.
I'm just saying, if we destroy that Star Destroyer, maybe we should be the ones that disappear, because the Empire will be back with more, and we shouldn't be here when they come.
Oh, totally agreed. But if we can pad our pockets and eliminate our debt.
Well, your debt's eliminated by accepting and doing this mission.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And as for disappearing, there won't be anything to tie the noble derelict to what's going on. And we have been refueling our hyperdrive the entire time y'all have been here. What do you think we're doing with our ass end in this here gas planet?
And what will you do with the children? They'll know they're here.
Give them back to their parents. Fly somewhere else. There's a reason we're a gambling casino on wheels, for lack of a better vernacular.
Space wheels.
Outer Rim's pretty wild these days. You get deep into it, even the Empire have a hard time finding you.
Pax, I have the sneaking suspicion that you are a good man.
Oh, now, I would not want you to sully my dirty name with such talk.
I agree.
Now, hurry up. Y'all got a date to get to. Time for y'all to get arrested. Y'all are good folk, despite what you look like on the outside.
Oh.
A wise old Jedi once told me, matter of fact, it's the Jedi who saved my life. Hope ain't something that you find everywhere, but every now and then, someone comes along and gives you just a little spark. And that can be enough to get people through a lot more than they expect. Good luck, y'all. And Pax walks off.
So I guess we get arrested now?
Spruik looks down at Tarek and it's like, we all know that now we can't let M3 destroy this base station thing, right?
Oh, certainly not.
No, he can't.
It's okay. I'm going to kill it myself someday. Maybe. Who knows?
I mean, he should get enough murder and chaos on the Imperial cruiser.
I
should is the key word.
So yeah, to the arresting.
Oh
yeah,
this makes me nervous.
I guess we'll have Akana and M3 pose as if they are working together, and
As you all kind of prepare for this, Akana and a few of her Mistral body or her Mistral guard, some of the other members of her organization walk up. They're carrying stun cuffs with them. And Akana goes, well, if you want it to look convincing, you'll all put these on. We have a pair big enough for the Wookiee. And
Spruik's not sure about getting stun cuffed.
I'm gonna put my hand on his shoulder and say, "We got to do it, lad.
What are we gonna do about our lightsabers?
Trust me. We're gonna give them all to
Gonna hide it.
Saxon, and he's gonna be invisible."
I'm
Okay.
Speaking of which, give me your belt now before you get cuffed.
I'm gonna also before Pax left. Could I give him the Bane box and the Codex of the Mother and ask him to hold them for me?
oh, you motherfucker! Yes, Pax does that. Fuck.
So Za, myself, and Tarek and Spruik are the ones being arrested, or just Tarek, Spruik, and myself?
You just
Can I
ruined
get one
my-
over on Josh? I'm like,
Oh,
I was
I'm
like,
gonna look
he's got
forward to
s-
rewatching this episode.
oh, he's got so many things I can fuck you all with, and now he's thinking about it. Stop that.
you bitch.
To answer your question, I think I'm being turned in as well.
You're
It's-
certainly
It's everyone
valuable
but
target.
M3 and Saxon. M3 is doing the turning in with Akana. Saxon is going invisible. Everyone else is being arrested, is the plan.
Jackson
correct?
just gonna
Josh,
ride
would I have
around in
had-
M3's chassis.
I mean,
Josh. Would I have had time to attempt to craft that thing?
No.
Shit.
That thing.
No, you need 8 hours.
Okay, that makes sense. That's fine.
So, Saxon, I'm going to hand you my backpack that has essentially my blaster pistols and what was it? That belt that I got. No, I gave the belt to you, right?
All right. Yeah, I have the invisible belt. I have Nax's backpack. What else is Saxon going to hold?
So Akana will let you know that anything you don't want the Empire to impound is the word that's in my head, but to repo and lock away, which wouldn't mean you couldn't find it. You just wouldn't know where they would lock it away. So that needs to be anything on your person, weapons, armor, whatever that you don't want them to take and lock up, you need to put with Saxon. I also could give two shits about carry weight. So Saxon is very strong.
Okay. I'm gonna,
Saxon,
why
what
don't
are
we
you
just make a
doing?
list?
Here's a
then
good
send that
question.
later.
Saxon, what are you doing with M4?
Oh, that is a great question. M4 is going to be like M3's buddy during this,
Okay.
as like a co-bounty hunter sort of thing.
Fantastic. Then I will let M4 speak for M3 when we get to the arresting, since
Oh,
Steven is not with us.
Yes.
Nice. I'm gonna open
you gotta
another
do
beer. Should I open
You
another
gotta
beer?
do it justice.
I gotta step into M3's shoes. Oh, this is gonna be a great role-play moment. All right, so Max's backpack, a belt. How many lightsabers?
I just have a
Let's-
staff.
Yeah,
Spruik's
just
got 2.
type up what you are, not
We can always
keeping-
send that after. It doesn't make
Yes.
sense to waste game time with it.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. I'm assuming it's basically all your weapons. Like all of you with all of your weapons. If there's
Yeah.
anything that is not weapon related that you're giving to Saxon, send it in the group chat. All right.
Well,
if there's
I'm
something in
giving
there-
him my Tauzen amulet so that he's undetectable via,
right, I remember.
the Force.
Well, I mean,
So-
if they're gonna take our armor and stuff too, have to
that
give him that
who
stuff.
knows? You're not sure if they're going to take your armor or not. They're definitely going to take weapons.
I thought. Oh, I
So-
thought that was what you said earlier. Was they were gonna take things
might.
and they didn't get them.
Did I have enough time
But
to
if I'm
attune
not-
to something?
What is a something?
Either one of the 2 things that I have now that require attunement.
I mean, you can attune them. Yeah, you had time to attune. You had an hour and a
I-
half.
Neat. So I guess I will have attuned to the little bandy thingy, and the hammer is no longer in my possession. So
Great.
I'll give Saxon my rapier, but I'm keeping my shadow saber hidden on my person.
Okay.
I have it hidden in my armor.
Okay. Very good. Anything else?
No, I'm just gonna hope they don't take my armor. I'm gonna be really pissed.
Yeah,
This is
same.
armor.
I promise anything they repossess, you will have the option to find again. I'm not just going to take it from you forever. I'm not that mean.
Hey,
So-
here's a question with that invisible belt. Does it deactivate when you attack, or does it stay active the entire 2 hours?
If you attack, it will deactivate.
Okay,
You
cool.
can choose to deactivate it. However, the timer for the 2 hours doesn't reset when you deactivate it. So it needs 2 hours to recharge. So for every
Cool.
minute that you use of it, it needs a minute deactivated to charge back up.
Gotcha.
All right. If that's all, Akana and her guard pass out these stun cuffs, one to each of you that's being arrested. She goes, "Cuff up, boys. Time to make this look convincing," as she punches Tarek in the face as hard as she can.
Oh,
Yes,
shite! He didn't deserve that.
yes, you
Hmm.
did. Punch the other eye too. Make it look more convincing.
No, this one's fragile. It's got glass in it.
Yes, do it.
I think that'll do just fine.
Ah, fine.
Spruik is visibly not okay with wearing stun cuffs.
Well, you'll be fine, Spruik.
Trust me, lad. I promise it'll work out.
Han and Chewie going on up her. Who's TK421?
I'm doing too much.
All right. So once you
I think he thinks he's muted.
Oh, god damn it. Why not muted? Oh, bitch. Sorry, guys. She wants me to look
So-
at Bernie Sanders memes, and I'm doing
Oh,
a
they're
whole lot
so
of things
funny,
right now.
though.
I sent you 47.
Oh,
You sent me
that's-
47?
Yes.
Jesus, Emily.
Oh my God.
And Tarek's
Oh.
I'm sorry, guys. I'll mute myself.
It's okay. It was
Oh,
it was
beautiful.
precious.
Oh, I love
Beautiful.
it.
Okay, so easily after a few seconds, you're all stun cuffed up. You're lined up, and as soon as you're all in the single file line, Tarek at the front with his bruised eye, this sort of holographic like chain appears around each of you. It's a small condensed force field that links each cuff. So if one of you struggle, all of you feel the stun shock that it reverberates through the entire apparatus.
Wait a minute. This could be funny.
With that, Akana levels a blaster at your head, Tarek, and says, "To the turbo lift."
Spruik, try to separate his arms a little bit and see what happens.
Everyone roll a Constitution save while you're
Fuck
walking.
you.
Including Spruik.
including Spruik.
Spruik, I want you to know I'm gonna roll this twice, and whichever is the lower one is gonna be yours. One for me, one for you, obviously.
And I have a pretty high constitution. I think I have advantage on constitution.
God damn it! I roll a 19 and a 15, so
Great. If you rolled 12 or higher, you feel a shock and you don't take any damage. If you rolled less than a 12, you will take 4 energy damage.
Ow.
Poor Saw.
It's okay. My aura of vigor will heal me 4 temporary hit points.
All right. So easily enough, she leads you through the out of the arena and towards the turbo lift. At this point, people in the crowd who the few of them who were not privy to sort of the moment of pleading, sort of looking in shock. Many of them had seen your performance, your battle in the arena, and many of them had received word that this was to be kept under wraps. Many of them now stunned that Akana and even two droids they recognize would be turning you all in. You see in some of their faces, you see what little hope they have fall. In others, you see tears and fear. In some, you see shock and horror as you're led to the turbo lift. A few moments later, you hear the familiar dee. You have reached the hangar bay. Not long after, you're led carefully and slowly towards the designated meeting area. There's no sound, just the echoing footfalls of your boots on the Durasteel floor. A few moments later, you reach the hangar bay, and inside you see what's left of Banshee Squad. Instead of wearing their traditional white clone armor, they're now adorned fully in red, a deep crimson stormtrooper armor, their helmets off. You see Bug with his one arm standing at their head. The armor is intimidating, reflective, almost the color of blood, slightly different in shape from the clone trooper armor, but similar enough. As you walk in, Akana at the head, followed by M3 and M4. Bug,
Josh,
go
I'm
ahead.
so sorry. Point of order. On the turbo lift, Saxon activated the invisibility.
Excellent. So Saxon is invisible. As you all walk into the
Great
room,
job,
the invisible
Jesse.
Saxon. At this point, you don't need to. There's nothing to roll for. As long as you don't kick over anything, you're okay.
Nope. Light feet, as light as they can.
Saxon is tiptoeing invisibly. As you walk in, Bug turns and he says, "I'll be damned. I didn't think that you'd actually show up, M3. Who are your friends?"
This organic is a member of this station. This droid is a member of a organic who died. Ha 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 ha.
Why is that other droid talking like you, M3? Something wrong with your vocabulary?
I thought I was stepping into M3. God damn it.
No. M4 is just the spokesperson for this.
Ah,
Although I love that moment. M4 is trying to be M3. I love that moment.
This unit is occupied as designated speaker. Objectify. Bounty to be turned in. Collection needed.
No bounty.
I
I reckon.
Quick question, Josh. Sorry to interrupt you.
Sure.
What kind of alien is Akana?
Akana is a Pantoran.
Oh, I'm gonna just make a snarky remark like, "Goddamn Pantorans taking orders from droids now," just to, like, play it up a little bit.
When you do, you almost catch a little grin from her as she backhands you with the butt of her pistol, just hitting you in the exact same side that she hit you in the
Yikes.
first place. Shut up. If I wanted your advice, I would have asked for it. Talk again and I'll blow your kneecaps off.
Yeah, well, I need those, so fuck you.
Right, well, I'm actually surprised you all showed up. Stand there. Keep your weapons trained on them. I've seen them. They're dangerous. They almost killed me, and they took one of our brothers and killed him too. Well, almost killed him. You see Bug motions to Jacker just behind him, and Jacker pulls up a comlink and says, "They've arrived. Send in the reinforcements." And you hear a moment of shh, shh, as two other turbo doors open, or two other blast doors open, and in come several dozen stormtroopers. And in a moment, you're all surrounded. Over 50 guns pointed directly at you. Saxon, I need you to roll a stealth check with advantage, please.
Oh, dicks. All right, boys, here we go. Oh, that's a natural 1 for the first one.
Can Spruik
Eight.
loudly growl at everybody because he does not like being surrounded either?
Sure.
That's a 20 for the advantage.
Great. As far as you can tell, Saxon, you remain hidden, but you have to kind of tuck pretty tight to them as you're all surrounded. A few moments later, not even moments, just an instant after there's a surrounding all these weapons, you hear shh, as all of these stormtroopers point their guns at you. Bug says, "I can't believe you're all stuck close enough around for us to find you. Foolish. We should have shot your ship down on its way out. I can't believe I used to call some of you friends. Consider you brothers. At least you didn't kill Feedback. I don't know what you did to him, but we'll get him fixed up right.
What do you mean?
It's none of your damn business. You just need to know he's back with his brothers. He's being cared to."
Well, it's...
Uh-oh.
I thought we had killed him good, lads.
As you say that, Bug lunges with his one arm like he's going to strike you. And just as he's about to hit you, a glove, black, grabs his wrist and he freezes. In that instant, Tech Triff, you who see with the Force, normally when you see beings living in the Force, you see stars, like a night sky without any lights to block out the natural beauty, as if each life form is its own constellation, revolving around in the Force, moving through the galaxy. What you see now is the opposite. You see it, but it's as if it's a black hole, a pit of darkness that pulls the light from around it in. A thin, slender man. You're unsure of what race or species he is, as he wears a white mask similar to Tech Triff's, except there are holes where you see for eyes, where you see these red, beady eyes, black pupils, but red instead of white. He wears this long, deep black robe that you swear wisps away like shadows at its base. There's an energy about him, something deep, as if it's a black hole that pulls all life, all energy into it. The lights even appear to dim in the room as his presence is suddenly known. And he says, Now, Bug. This is hardly the time for violence. It appears they've surrendered peacefully. I, for one, am most excited to see you. I have seen interesting things. But please, allow me to introduce myself. It would be rude. I am Sun Shay Soul. I am in command. Welcome. I am most excited that you will be joining us.
Tetrif is just going to mutter loud enough for everyone to hear, and he's just going to say, "Do not speak or look at him."
He
The
wisps.
lad is right. Look at the ground.
He wisps like smoke in the wind as he comes close to you, Tektrif. A Miralukin, as he sort of cranes his mask to peer under, almost where your eyes would be. I have not seen one of your kind in a long time. I had thought you were all dead. How fascinating to find one of you alive. You will be most exciting, I believe. But enough with the chit-chat for now. We have a very long journey ahead of us. Come, accommodations have been arranged for you. And with that, several stormtroopers approach, one for each of you, holding a medical injector. And very quickly, pss, 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 each of you is injected in the neck, and you fall unconscious. Despite Spruik, who takes the longest, very much struggling. Eventually, you all fall asleep. Saxon, you see that each of their unconscious forms is loaded onto a tray held up by repulsor lifts. A device is attached to each of the Force users' foreheads. Something strange. It just a small red plate that sits right on their brows. An Imperial shuttle lands very quickly, and the repulsor lifted sleds are pushed onto it. Saxon, I need you to roll a stealth check with advantage to try and get on without being caught.
Okay. That's an 18 and an 8, so it's a 21 total.
A 21 total. Fantastic. As you're boarding, you see you get on easily enough. As you're beginning to sneak on board, you see Sun Shay Soul turn, and he says, "Fit the droids with." Oh shit! The word just left me. Restraining bolts. Then send them to have their memories wiped. They'll be quite useful for us. As everyone is loaded onto the Imperial shuttle, a moment later, it lifts, takes off from the derelict, and ascends towards the Imperial Star Destroyer, the Venerator. And that is where we will end tonight.
Saxon is on the ship, yes?
Yes, Saxon is on the Imperial shuttle, hiding in a corner, hoping that one of the stormtroopers doesn't bump him on accident.
Oh my God, these goddamn Jedi, I swear. Come to the gear, let's have some fun. Oh, yes, let's have some fun. God, son of a bitch. He's just silently cursing to himself in the corner of this shit.
I want you guys to know that about 30 minutes ago or so, Heather texted me and said, that was a bad Southern accent. It was not good.
That's hilarious.
You
I
get
wonder
what
what
you
happened
get.
to M3 if his memory gets wiped.
Oh, we tell
Hopefully
him
we don't find out.
we tell him to hug people. I could just reprogram M4 again. It'll take me a long rest, but it'll be fine.
I'm so excited, man. I am so excited for what comes next.
That worked out really
giving me a
well,
lot
you
of
guys.
All
Do you
of
really
this-
think? Do you really think I'm gonna make it
Hinges.
challenging for you to get into dangerous situations? You
Oh, it's the exit that's gonna be a bitch.
Oh my god! All of this hinges on Saxon. Holy fucking shit!
Yeah, I almost said Eridan.
think about how many like moments in the Star Wars movies that they got themselves into immeasurably deep bullshit so easily.
So easily.
Like, do you remember when Anakin and Obi-Wan went after Palpatine? How easy was it for them to get to Palpatine? So easy.
That's true.
Oh, I'm so excited.